that are controlling the military at this point in time.
It's not only in Iran. We've witnessed a similar thing in Iraq and Lebanon, where the further the escalation, the further the political developments would be detrimental to those systems. We noticed that there would be weaker leaders that were targeting or finding it so challenging to fill the shoes of their predecessors. So certainly I would agree with Ali in that sense, but we're not dealing with the Iranian president per se as a person or as an individual. We're dealing with an entire regime which has a variety of different agencies, which we're noticing why there are conflicting opinions. Perhaps the president comes from a camp that didn't necessarily agree with the way the IRGC was targeting the Gulf states based or under the rationale of it targeting U.S. interest, while simultaneously knowing that countries such as the UAE was the assets keeper and a main trade partner for Tehran. Qatar was a main ally or a regional partner who played a vital role in becoming a mediator between Iran and the region and the rest of the world.
Russell, is this comments, do you think there's any chance of either of those things happening?
Well, the rhetoric in wars can always be very contradictory to what actually happens later on. We noticed a major division in the approach or the objectives towards the war. I'm not really sure if Trump was fully aware that Israel would conduct an operation against Lebanon when the Israeli and the United States coordinated attack was planning to focus on Iran itself. As previously mentioned with former colleagues here, it probably indicates that Trump had an imagination that he would be able to eliminate or end the regime in Iran with the assassination of Khamenei, similarly to how toppling Maduro ended the subject or the scenario in Venezuela. We can't deny the fact that every 90 seconds, the war is costing the United States $1 million. We're not saying that Iran can afford it, but we also have to notice the fact that Trump may not even have the domestic support about continuing with this war. And this also indicates and reflects that Trump perhaps didn't have a plan B whether the Iranian regime would continue this conflict following the assassination of Khamenei. There may be some differences in how we view the future of this conflict, but we can't deny that the outcome of the physical characteristics of the war as it is today will definitely play a vital role in how the future negotiations or the future plans from both sides will happen.
It certainly feels the longer this goes on, the wider and deeper the ramifications. Since then, though, we have seen them continue somewhat here in Qatar, at least. What does that tell us about the current situation and how much weight his words have at this point in the conflict?
Well, as we previously mentioned, we can't deny the fact that there is a major intra-elitist divisions within the ruling elite in Iran towards this war. We expected such a division and such a variety of opinions to exist in such crises. As we also previously mentioned, there was a major indicator of perhaps Tehran realizing the economic and the political graveyard it caused for itself, whether during this war or post this war, while it targeted GCC allies or neighbors, given that a lot of these neighbors played a vital role in protecting the economy or enhancing the economy and making it survive during the global sanctions against the regime in Iran, and also playing a vital role in mediating between different regional and global actors. But going a bit back to Trump's statement, we can't deny the fact that Trump is a man of political discourse and rhetoric, whether domestically and internationally, and that is a common thing in wars. There has been a lot of statements that would either drive the motivations or break down motivations of rivals or allies across the spectrum. But again, these are empty words. The war is still ongoing. The GCC is still impacted by all parties involved. The missiles are continuously. There is no regime change in Iran, therefore claiming that Iran has surrendered doesn't make any sense as we see it of now.
Exactly. It's probably almost more for a domestic audience than an international audience. And that's leading to some of the decisions that we've seen, whether it be to continue to strike at Gulf states. And how quickly do they need to find their new leader to take them forward?
Well, there is most certainly a massive power vacuum. The balance of power that has been mentioned by our colleague is in the normal case, but we're not in an ordinary situation. Iran is going through a war by one of the most powerful militaries in the world. If we were to consider the United States, it is the most powerful military superpower in the world, meaning we cannot imagine that the former supreme leader who was old himself. The Islamic Republic's structure has been built and designed in a way that there would be an alternative. Whether some of those alternatives were assassinated or not, it doesn't mean that a plan B of who the successor would be was never in place. But we are imagining and expecting that such a crisis to take place, such a power vacuum to take place, given that the country...
So just because you're on a 247-day streak doesn't truly mean you're actually learning the language, right?
There is a question whether the Iranian regime and the Islamic Republic that was founded and established in 1979, whether it will exist or not after this war. Hence, a power vacuum following the assassination of its supreme leader is just one of the most expected consequences that would have taken place or occurred after the US and the Israeli coordinated airstrikes, which openly and publicly announces this war as an aim to conduct a regime change in Iran. Now, whether the plan B was constructive enough in the case of the Iranian regime's survival following the assassination of Khamenei has been there on the table or not, but the intentions are very clear. Hence, a power vacuum in Iran is expected.
We've run out of time. We'll have to leave it there. But thank you so much, Zeidon and Hamid. We really do appreciate your insight today. Thank you. Well, a Reuters news agency is reporting that the US is asking Sri Lanka not to